Hey friends, I'm again with Bill Salier. Bill, thank you very much.
That's right, thanks Ray.
Isn't it a privilege to be able to speak to the MBMers?
Yep, absolutely. And to speak about John. What more could you want?
That's right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Now, this section, we're in the second half of John 16.
Yeah.
The first half we've looked at within the context of the ministry of the Spirit that Jesus predicted. He would come, the advocate and the comforter. But we're in the second half, and it's starting to speak about the grief. He's anticipating the grief of the disciples being turned into joy. Walk us through that.
Yeah. I think this passage, before we get to that, it's really interesting because it starts with Jesus saying, "A little while you'll see me no more, then after a while you will see me," and they just don't get it. Like it just shows us how hard it was, I think, to really understand what Jesus was saying, and also their emotional reaction, I think, of not wanting what they suspect it might mean actually happening. Yeah. Now, in that context, he then says, "Look, you are going to be sad, but this is all for the best. Yeah. This needs to happen." Yeah. And he uses this image of childbirth. Those of us who've seen our wives give birth will know the power of this illustration where there's intense pain and agony, but then it's not immediately forgotten, but it kind of fades pretty quickly because most women go, or a lot of women, if they can, go back for a second or third try. You know? So this idea of grief to joy, and we know that, no pain, no gain, we use all the kind of the expressions, but really he's saying this is really going to work out for the best. And it's interesting that he also uses a family metaphor, I think, because back in 14, we really didn't talk about this, but we talked about the Father and the Son and the Spirit. And Jesus makes the point that God comes and makes his home with us. So what we've got just as a little theme running through here is this idea of God, we return to the Father, there's a room for us, a place or a home is being made for us in the family. And it's not a house, it's a home. It's where we belong. And so this just really fits in with that whole familial imagery, which is so important in the gospel.
I'm not going to leave you as orphans.
Not as orphans. In fact, we're going to be children of God.
Yeah,
and the very climax of the gospel, or one of the climaxes, John 20, is Jesus says, "I'm going to my Father and your Father." So post the resurrection, we can now call God Father. And we underestimate, I think, the power and the wonder of that.
Yeah. Anything else?
The other thing, I guess, is if you look through right at the very end, the disciples think they finally got it. Verse 29, Jesus says, "Now you're speaking clearly without figures of speech. Now you know all things," and da-da-da. This makes us believe. Jesus says, "Do you now believe?" Yeah, so he's still not quite sure they've got it as we go at this point. But
we do need the Spirit of God.
We do need the Spirit of God, but then right at the very end we have this wonderful expression, there's going to be trouble, but peace. Yeah. So we talked about home, but peace, grace and peace are the two great blessings of the Christian faith, and that sense of well-being. Yeah.
Peace I give.
Peace I give. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I leave with you.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think that's a correct quote, but
it's close.
We're in the
I think it's up in John 20. So.
John 20, that's right. Bill, thanks again, brother.
Have
a great week, friends, and enjoy this wonderful gospel.